Hello and welcome to Living My Faith. I'm Chuck Coker, your host, and it's a great day because God is still on the throne. And I have a very special guest, a friend of mine that I've known for a while, but not just a great believer, but a great human. Gary Hallett, welcome.
Thank you, Chuck.
It's good to have you, brother.
Oh, it's good to be here. Kind words.
Well, thank you. You have always been one of those guys that I see as an example, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you,
Yeah.
and we go back many years.
We do indeed. Yeah. So Gary, you've done a number of things in your life,
right?
But you've evolved into this business development, business transaction thing. Tell me about that. How did God move you into that?
So my first career was in the beverage industry for almost 30 years, and I ended up in Jacksonville with a company called Southeast Atlantic Beverage. And the family sold that, I was their VP of Sales and Marketing and Distribution, and I left shortly after the founders left. And I took about a year and a half off, and during that time, I met Nancy, my wife.
Oh.
We had dated for a while before I left the business, but we started going to the vineyard, and we went through the Alpha program there. And right around the same time that we got married, I discovered business brokerage.
Mm.
And it was a chance to just begin a new career. I thought, it was just a chance to maybe fill in a gap until I retired. But 17 years later,
wow,
it's a full-on career.
Yeah.
And along the way, our faith, we were rookies in 2009 when we got married and when we started in this business and we started our faith journey.
Mm.
And along the way, God put some amazing people in our path. You were there like probably in the third or fourth year. I used to see you and you'd hear you speak at our church once in a while, but and so I felt like we got an accelerated education.
Mm.
In fact, they offered one time a prayer ministry where I thought we were going to learn how to pray, and we were going to learn how to pray for other people. That was foreign to me. But, it's opened so many doors. And what we realized also is that this business is a blessing. We hope to help people make decisions that allow them to exit out of their businesses one day.
Mm-hmm.
in a manner that gives them peace.
Mm-hmm.
And they can, walk out what the rest of that looks like if they want to start another business or if they want to sail off into retirement. But we still see a lot of anxiety as you get closer to the end of a career.
Sure.
And sometimes, those thoughts don't go anywhere further than maybe your spouse or a really close friend. And the earlier that you can begin to have the conversation, the more beneficial it will be when you eventually decide to exit.
Yes. Well, obviously, this takes a lot of research and background development to help you get the right person, because oftentimes it's not just do they want to buy the business, but is the culture that the person selling the business something that he wants to give away.
Correct. We, early on in our training, it was all about getting engagements and selling a business. And I would say that we have matured into a place where we only want to facilitate decisions that are the right ones for the owner and their family.
Mm.
And that may mean saying to them, this is not the right buyer for your business.
Mm.
And it's not foolproof, but people realize that taking time and making the right decision, and if you're a believer, you can pray about these things, but being measured in your approach to it is going to pay dividends long term. Making rush decisions typically doesn't end well. I have people come to me, hey, I have somebody who wants to buy my business. 9 times out of 10, they never want to buy the business. They may think they do, or they may indicate they do. That's certainly what the seller hears, What
Mhm.
they're really doing is looking at opportunities. You're one of many.
Mm.
And if you take a structured approach to that, you're not likely to get disappointed or even share confidential information that you really shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Um, my grandfather sat me down when I was just out of high school, and he said, "Sometimes, Chuck, you have to slow down to
Mm,
speed up." And that has stuck with me in my brain for many years. And what you're alluding to is slowing down to make sure that you're getting to where you need to be. And that's a biblical principle, I would say.
it's probably been one of the most difficult ones for me to learn. And I would say that since 2009, um, it's funny. God has me right where I'm supposed to be, I think, at this age of my life, working with people. Maybe my experience, wisdom that I'm picking up in this industry is beneficial to people that are trying to make these difficult decisions. And and I find in our own business, because we're business owners as well,
Hmm.
that I'm finding that I'm meditating and praying more often and asking for God's wisdom and guidance. And I wasn't real good at that. I mean, I was very quick to shoot from the hip and just keep moving things along.
Well, are any of us really good at that?
Right.
It's one of those things that on my morning walk with my wife this morning, we talked about the fact that our natural personalities take over
Right.
at times, and we stick our foot in our mouth, we do all kinds of stuff, and then we ask ourselves why we did it.
Yeah.
But sanctification is one of those things that is constantly at work, and thank goodness the Lord doesn't expect us to be perfect.
No, and we just have to be open to his voice. And I even think that the changes that he's wanting to make when they're hard,
Yes,
hard, hard changes in direction, maybe that you thought. Yeah.
that's for sure. Well, Gary, thank you for joining us today. I would like for you to share with our audience if they how would we get in touch with you if we had a business or we were looking for a business to purchase?
It's a great question. You can find us at Gateway Business Advisors. That's our M&A firm. Strategic Business Valuations is our company that really we value and help people who are typically 1 to 5 years out. And you can also find me on LinkedIn.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, thank you so much for joining me today, brother.
Thanks, Chuck. It's a
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Yeah. And thank you for joining us today on Living My Faith. What a great time we have with Gary. And I pray that today will be an absolutely amazing day, that God will just pour out his blessings on you. And join us next time on Living My Faith. I'm Chuck Coker. Have a great day.